Since OCD is trying to protect us from pain, it stands to reason that when there is more real pain in our life, real pain as opposed to OCD pain, we are more susceptible to OCD. And right now, in my life, there are two very significant sources of pain. One is my father, with whom I'm very close, has Alzheimer's. This is not a new development, but it is accelerating and it is heartbreaking. And the other is also a heartbreak. I had a 2.5-year relationship with someone I love very deeply, and about 6 months ago. And so the OCD wants to come in and fix this pain, because the promise of the OCD is, hey, if you figure out this one thing, whatever your brand of OCD is, for me it's decision making, so make this decision right and you won't have to feel this heartbreak. And I know it's a lie, and I really have not been falling prey to it this time, but it's worth mentioning that this is how the OCD started for me. I was not born with OCD. I always had very, very overwhelmingly intense emotions, to the point that I was hospitalized when I was 18. But I did not have OCD until the most significant romantic relationship of my life ended, well, God, now it's been 22 years ago. In the aftermath of that relationship, I developed really debilitating OCD almost overnight. Like, I went from not having OCD to being completely dominated by it over the course of like a month. It was terrifying. I didn't know what was going on, of course. I didn't know this was OCD. It wasn't for a couple more years before I was diagnosed. So for me now, with these heartbreaks, with my father, my ex-girlfriend, the practice is simple. It's continually tuning in to my heart. Because when I say heartbreak, I mean that not so much metaphorically as anatomically. That's where I feel the ache in my heart, in the center of my chest. So consciously choosing to tune into that ache. Sometimes, once a day, sometimes I'll go a few days without it, but when it's intense, multiple times a day, I know that by doing that, well, really I'm doing two things. One thing is I am undercutting the OCD. The OCD wants to protect me from this pain, so if I'm feeling this pain consciously, the OCD doesn't have anything to protect me from. The other thing, though, is I believe emotions exist for our benefit, even, and maybe especially, painful emotions. Now, when you're feeling the pain of OCD, there's no deep message there. The message is just get out of OCD. But with these sorts of pains that connect to real values, things that are really central to who we are and what we care about, I think there is information in these emotions. I don't think this is information I have to understand in my head. I don't think it's information I can process in my head. So maybe information isn't technically the right word, but I believe there is something I can learn from these sensations. But the way I can learn this is purely and solely by feeling these sensations. So again, one reason to feel them, undercut the OCD, but the other reason is to grow as a human, to learn from this pain. This is my experience in this moment as a human, and accepting it is the path to more growth and more freedom.